Hello everyone. Today we will introduce some Tuina therapy. First, I introduce myself. My name is Chu Hailin. Is the Chief Traditional Chinese Medicine Physician and also Associate Professor working in the Zhejiang Chinese Medical University in 1991. Today's main contents, we want 4 items. The first is a brief introduction of Tuina. The second is the acting principles of Tuina. The third is continence of Tuina. The fourth is how to learn Tuina. Now we see the first items. So first question is, what's the meaning of Tuina? Some people say Tuina just like a massage, but we say Tuina is different from massage because I always told my students, massage means everybody can do, but Tuina only doctor do. So the first, Tuina is a kind of Chinese medical therapy. You know, TCM include medicine, acupuncture, and herbs, and also today we will say the Tuina. So it's one kind of Chinese medical therapy. And how to use the things to treat the patient's diseases? We say the manipulations. So Tuina, most important is the manipulations. Yeah. So we use various manipulations to certain location of human body. Here, certain location means some areas is the points, some is the muscles, some is the meridians. So we just call it certain locations. Yeah. And the purpose is for what? It's for treat and prevent diseases. Yeah, because the first one, the treat, it's easy because we treat a lot of diseases. Later I will also introduce. Here I want say the prevent diseases. Just means what? Tuina is for healthy. It's a very interesting things because not only for adults but also for kids. So we have a special class for kids Tuina. The fourth, the foundation of Tuina means the theory of Tuina is not only the Western TCM but also Western medicine. Because you know, we use manipulation means to use power, especially on the muscles and some joints. So we should know what kind of muscles, so what kind of joints, and so the anatomy is very important, and also the physiology and the pathology you should know. So the Tuina is basically my theory include the traditional Chinese medicine theory and also Western medicine theory. This is very different to the other things. Yeah. So we can say Tuina is a medical subject to prevent and cure diseases through use of manipulations on points and meridians. Its theoretical basis is traditional Chinese and Western medicine. And so TCM and Western medicine theory can guide Tuina clinical practice. So manipulations, we have different classifications. According to the shape, we can divide into 6 types. There are swimming, friction, squeezing, vibrate, tap, and activating joints. There are 6 types. Each type has some specific manipulations. Yeah. And according to the effectiveness, we normally divide 2 types. One is we call the lections, another we call the adjustments. Yeah. And according to the Tuina used object, we can divide 2 types: the adult and child manipulations, and sometimes we call the kid manipulations. Yeah. And also have other ways. The second question is, Tuina has a long history. How long? So we said around 2700 before Christ. We already primarily summed the primitive experience in massage. Here I say massage. because in that time we didn't say Tuina, know the Tuina name, just the massage or another name. Later we say Mo or Dao Yin and or An Chao. So it's different terms, different terms. So has a long history. We have also from the books. So here I list 7 books. Some books are very important, because these books record the Tuina experience, Tuina manipulations. So especially the first one, we call the Yellow Emperor's Internal Classic. This book is what we call the greatest medical book. So you already know Chinese means 黄帝内经, this book. Lots of Tuina series. And another book I want to show you. This book is what we call the 6th classic in the Tang Dynasty. Why I want to say this book? Because this book is a very big book, including the policy, include economic and everything of the countries in China. This book, and include medicines. So in this book, said Tuina can treat the 8 factors diseases. What kind of 8 factors? Like wind, cold, heat, dampness, hunger, and overeating, fatigue, and 2 leisure, the 8 factors. You see, the wind means we call it like springtime, cold like winter, heat like summer, and the dampness like autumn. So it means 4 seasons disease we can use Tuina treat. And also here you see hungry and overeating means what? Means your digestion system's problems. So here means Tuina can treat the internal medicine problems. So, and another we call fatigue and tolerate. Fatigue we know because if you labor, if you work hard, maybe you injure your muscles in joints, then Tuina can treat those kind of diseases. But here, 2 leisure. Who knows why 2 leisure can cause diseases? Because in Tang Dynasty in China, it's a flourish period of times. That time means that time in China is very developed. So in that time we looked at fat as beautiful. But if too fat, maybe a lot of diseases like now the high blood pressure, the diabetes, and so on. So in that dynasty, in that period of time, so Tuina can treat so many kinds of diseases. So it means we enlarge the clinical indications. So this book is very important. Another book is what we call the Canoe of Massage for Children. So this book from Ming Dynasty. So that book records lots of manipulations and also some diseases for kids. Means how to use manipulations to treat kids' problems. So even now we also follow lots of rules from that book. So that 2 books is very important. One for adults, another for kids. So if you have time, you can look at some details in the books. Okay, so in Tang Dynasty and also the Tuina introduced to other countries, like Korea, Japan, Arabian countries, and also their countries manipulation also introduced to ours. So we exchange from that time, from about 581 to 907 AD. So at present now, Tuina in China is playing an important role. Means what? Means in the big hospital or in China, they all have Tuina department. And in China, we all have nationwide exchange and also in worldwide exchange. So this is accepted by all the peoples. So Tuina already been accepted as safety, effectivity, and comfort, harmless and free of side effects by the people of the world. So contribute great to their health and life program. Second big items. What are the acting principles of Tuina? The first we call the regulating yin and yang. Second we call the regulating the function of meridians and collectors, qi and blood and viscera. The third we call the recovery of the function of tendons, bones and joints, and the fourth and others. But from my view, keep the balance is the most important. So the human body is very interesting. You see, what kind of interesting? Yeah. So a normal person, no matter white, black, yellow, or the other colors, almost have the same basic body structure. Most organs are distributed symmetrically. The functions are almost the same, but the power is not the same. For example, right eyes you can see, left eyes you also can see, but the clearance is different. Maybe you can see more far, it doesn't mean more close, so it's different. We call the power is different. Also left hand, right hand, also the power different. So this is the first thing. Second, you see, a normal person, if you're facing with shouting, whatever English, French, Chinese, or other languages, you will feel uncomfortable. But if you face with a mildly polite talking, whatever English, French, Chinese, or other language, you feel very, very comfortable. Why? Because this voice is gentle, it's polite. So from this day, Tuina can make the weakness too strong through stimulating points and muscles, or what we sometimes call meridians. Yeah. And the points, you know, are the indication of the internal organs. Means what? If your organ have problems, we can see some things on the points. So points also we use manipulation on points. Can treat the internal organs. The second is muscles. We call it's very important. For what? For the body stabilizations. Yeah. If the muscles no power, the body is not stable. So if you want to make the stabilization for the body, we should use your strong muscles. Yeah. So Tuina also can make the weakness muscles to strong. Okay. And a TCM view, healthy body is a relation with plenty of qi and xue, and also the qi and the blood should be flow, should be smoothly, And we also know the qi and the blood, the source is what is from the spleen and the stomach organs. So Tuina can stimulate the spleen and the stomach points, let the spleen and the stomach functions good, become strong. Then you can produce enough qi and the blood. The second, you know, Tuina can move the qi and the blood. Means what can accelerate the blood circulations, And the Tuina doctor do Tuina as well as talking with patients. Means what? We do Tuina also with communicating with the patients. Not only just do. You should talking. You should ask some questions, some jokes with my patients, because let patient more relax. So you can relax the muscles and relax the mental problems. That the patients all relax. So Tuina is very interesting. Okay, the third items we call the contents of Tuina. So some students say that Tuina is very difficult to learn. Tuina is very difficult and very tired. I agree with you. Tuina is a medical therapy. Of course, it's very complicated. But from the continents, we can know that it's not so difficult to learn. The first is what we call the Tuina exercises. Tuina exercises for what? For Tuina doctors, for Tuina students. Means what? Tuina students or Tuina doctors, you should do more exercise. You should be more stronger. So traditional ways, we have two ways. One is for what we call the Yi Jing Jing. Another we call the Shaolin Nei Gong. Two things we should exercise, we should train. The second we call them Tuina manipulations. So I already mentioned that we more 6 types and more 20 commonly used manipulations. But if we, in the clinic practicals, only a few manipulations we always use, not so many. But your practice should need more. Third, we call the Tuina therapeuticals. This means what? The Tuina, how to use Tuina treatment the diseases. Those diseases we can use Tuina treatment. The first is we call them orthopedic traumatology diseases. This kind of disease we call always the joints, the muscles, like cervical spondylosis, like stiff neck, like frozen shoulder, and also low back pain. Those we call the orthopedic diseases. And the second we call the internal medicine diseases, like the migraine, insomnia, hiccup, constipation, and impotence, and so on. So my teacher told me when he was a young doctor, he treated so many diseases because that time the Western medicine not in China too many, and a few Western medicine doctors in China. So the Tuina doctors should treat lots of medicine. But now we divide very small. So Tuina doctor maybe treat only the joints and muscles problems. Here I list the gynecological diseases. So why I list these diseases? Because from my experience, my practice, I can say Tuina is good for infertility and dysmenorrhea and amenorrhea. Why? So I already mentioned because those diseases is related with qi and the blood, and the gynecological diseases also connect with qi and the blood. So if we can use Tuina, can produce more qi and blood, and also can smooth the qi and the blood. So these diseases will be cured. So it's very useful, effective for the gynecological diseases. So later, if you have time, you can go to my clinic. We also treat a lot of gynecological problems. So Tuina as a medical treatment, so we also should know some diseases we can't use Tuina. We call them country indications. So what kind of disease we can't use Tuina? The first one we call cancer. The second we call them dermatosis with pathological changes and injuries, like a bruise and a scald, like a bleeding, we can't. And also the pregnant, especially the pregnant, the abdomen and the low back areas, we can't use Tuina. Otherwise, we cause them abortions. So, and also too hungry and all exercise too strong. That time we also can't use because the patients is not stable. We can't use Tuina. So this is very important. If we avoid those country indications, the other patients' problems, we can use Tuina. So the fourth, we call them pediatric Tuina. Later we also have one class we will talk about the pediatric Tuinas. And the fifth we call the Tuina literature and experiments. This means what? Tuina literature means the people write some articles in the books we can learn. And also modern medicines will also do some experiment want to expose how to Tuina works. The 4 items how to learn Tuina. From my view, the first we should knowledge background, include the Western medicine and the Chinese medicine series. The second we call the skill background. Skill means you should practice the manipulations. Third, we call the health and a strong body. This means the doctor should be more healthy and strong. The fourth, we should preserve practice. Means you should practice continually and continue, not only for a period of time. You should hold your life. The fifth, we call it observation and clinical practice. At the beginning, if you do manipulations, you should follow the doctor's suggestion. And also you should go to the clinic, see the doctor how to treat patients did use Tuina manipulations. You should look and followed. So let's summarize this class. So Tuina we called has a long history, has a base theory, and using different manipulations like adjusting the channels, the characters, and the internal organs functions. And his purpose to treat and defend disease. So according to our Tuina's contents, Tuina is not too difficult to learn. I hope you can learn some Tuina manipulation from this class. Bye-bye.